Here's a little interesting device from Digiera. This is a 1 terabyte SSD, a portable SSD. Now, as you know, one of the reasons why I didn't buy the iPhone 16, pretty much the main reason, wasn't because of Apple Intelligence. No, my problem was that they didn't give me enough storage. I use my iPhone to shoot videos, and what a lot of people don't seem to understand is that iCloud is not an answer for my problem. In order for you to shoot videos on the iPhone, like let's say you're doing long travel vlogs like I do multiple hours worth of travel vlogs, or you're storing large 4K 120 frame per second files. The problem is these files are so large now that they literally use about 1 gigabyte every minute. Now, if you multiply that times 60 minutes, that's an hour. But here's the problem though. I have a lot of files. I have a lot of older files that I like to use sometimes and sew into my videos. And I want to have all of my video clips available immediately. I don't want to have to, download them from iCloud, because here's the problem. What happens if you're in a place where you can't download them from iCloud? What happens if you're in a place where the internet is so slow that downloads become hassle? You don't want to have to deal with that. I like to have everything on my phone. That's the bottom line. Every video that this phone has shot, I want it on the phone. Every picture I've taken, I have over 30,000 photos. I want them all on this phone. So here's the question. What happens when you need portable storage? What happens when you need a portable drive so that you can offload some of those videos or some of those photos or whatever it is from your digital camera, from your Galaxy S24 Ultra, from your iPhone? What happens when you need to offload some of those videos, some of those clips? Well, you have a couple of options. There are the SanDisk Photo Vaults. There's a couple of other makers that make photo vaults. There's a couple of makers that make SSDs. Western Digital, for example, makes them for the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, Series X and S, and all this. This device right here is a portable SSD from Digiera. And it says it will have up to 2,000 megabits per second read, and it will write at 1,800 megabits per second. Now, when you're dealing with SSD, the reality is that speeds tend to be high no matter what, simply because there's no physical movement of any hard drive platter. There's no physical movement of just about anything, because this is all solid state. So this is basically SSD, for the time being, is basically the future of all storage. The only downside about SSD, supposedly, is that you have to run electricity through it every now and then in order to make sure that it doesn't lose any of the data on it. See, a hard drive physically uses magnets and pins in order to record data. This is a little bit different as an SSD because it requires electricity to help move electrons into positions in order to record data. So the bottom line is, if you have an SSD and you're using that for long-term storage, you have to use it every now and then. You have to plug it in, you have to use it. So if you have SSD storage, you don't want to take SSD storage and put it in a box and put it away and forget about it. Like I have boxes with old devices, and those devices, I believe they have non-volatile storage, but for the most part, those devices, they've sat in boxes for a long period of time. And the problem is, if these things sit in a box for a long period of time, eventually they start to lose data. So the issue is, with solid state, you want to actively be using your device, and hopefully it has enough read and write cycles that you don't wear it out. But most people aren't going to wear it out. Only professionals are usually going to wear them out. Like they're going to read and write so much that they actually wear out the SSD. And for the most part, that typically doesn't happen because these things are usually capable of doing many cycles. So what I will say right here on the side, they say that the capacity of this can be 512, 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, or even 4 terabytes. This, as you can see, is obviously a 1 terabyte drive. And judging from the box, it was pretty much designed to be used with Apple products. Because you got to remember, Apple nickel and dimes you for storage, which is part of the reason why I skipped the iPhone 16. If you buy a MacBook, if you buy anything else of theirs, they nickel and dime you for storage. And I'm not willing to pay for a product unless I get an adequate amount of storage. So a device like this you could use on your MacBook or you could use on your notebook for whatever reason. Like if you just need to store a lot of files and you want to store them, you know, next to whatever the device is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop talking. We're going to open this up and we're going to basically plug it in. We're going to maybe move some files to it. Possibly I'll move, like, I don't know, Star Trek, Picard, or possibly Star Wars or something. I'll pick something and move it to this and then maybe transfer it to a TV or something and play it back or something. But I'm also going to say this. I don't know how you'll take it. The reality is, it's like, you know, everybody has a porno drive somewhere, and, you know, you want to have a nice, good, common place to keep your porn. So 1 terabyte, I would say, is probably enough for most people, especially if you're downloading low-quality porn off the internet. 2 terabytes is definitely better, and that'll last you for a long time. But then again, there are some of you who have, you know, psychological problems. You may need the 4 terabyte version. So what I will do is I'll be sure to tell you exactly how much each one of those versions costs, just in case you're interested in one of those. But I will say I'm definitely very happy that I got this, simply because my pictures, I have so many pictures. Even right now on this phone, I have 30,000 pictures. I want to back up my photos. I was planning on getting a larger drive in my next computer. I'm definitely going to get a 4 terabyte operating system drive for Windows 11 or whatever it is when I build a new computer. But definitely for my photos, I definitely want to back those up to a non-home cloud server. Because, you know, my Western Digital MyCloud, it's getting old. And I definitely want to back that stuff up. And the thing about it is I have to back it up somewhere. So my issue is I really would need, I would say, 4 terabytes just to be sure I have plenty of space. But the thing about it is you're better off keeping backups on a hard drive for long periods of time, simply because you don't have to worry about the electricity issue. But if I plug this to my MyCloud, I can definitely back things up to it. And the things that I'd back up to it, it's more designed for if you want to carry those things around. So what I may end up doing, 1 terabyte is okay, but I would say maybe the best possible use for this is if I download a file manager to my iPhone and then transfer a lot of the stuff that's from my iPhone to this and just, pack stuff onto it that I didn't want to upload to the cloud server. I will figure out a use for this. It's just that 1 terabyte is kind of small, especially considering my phone itself is 1 terabyte. 2 terabytes would have definitely been better, but I'm very thankful that I got this sample, because this way I can show it to you and, show you everything about it, show you, how it works, and maybe run it off of a television, just show you that, yeah, you can carry lots of files and stuff just as you would with a flash drive or something. So I'm going to stop talking and let's open it up and let's give her a run. Okay. Unbox therapy. They made a channel that basically, that's what they do. They just unbox stuff. Everybody has done their best to copy Apple, even when it comes to the packaging. You know, I remember back in the old days, packaging was never designed like this. So I was like, this is, I mean, this is nice. But back in the old days, it was like they would just give you a product. They didn't care how it was packaged. Now everything is designed just like Apple would design it. You know, Apple, everybody ultimately copies them. You know, and they want to, oh, well, they use Samsung parts. It's like, nobody cares. But the reality is you're copying their style. It's like there's nothing new under the sun, but you're literally copying these people's style. I mean, come on. That is so faux pas. All right, let me get that out of there. All right. Get that out of there. Okay. Yeah, so you can, this is a unboxing. And see, that's the thing. It's like, even with this video, I'm recording this with my iPhone. You know? I record everything on my iPhone. I need as much space as possible so that I can record with my iPhone. This is my main recording device. You know? All right, let's see. You'd be amazed how much dexterity I have with just one hand. All right. Okay. So the device is a hockey puck style. All right. Okay, so here you go. It says that this is a magnetic portable SSD. This thing is really designed to plug right in to the back of one of your phones, so that this way you can back stuff up. So this is the device right here. It's very, very light, because I would imagine that this has pretty much the exact same memory chips, I would say, as your typical NAND flash device. So as you can see, it says Digiera. I don't know if there's any embedded lights. It's just a very simple hockey puck style, USB-C, obviously. And it's very, very simple. It's not heavy at all. And this magnetic ring is designed so that you can attach it very quickly to the back of your phone. Now, notice that it comes with USB-C, and it's a USB-C to USB-C cable. So that's obviously telling you right there that they intend for you to use this on an iPhone 15, iPhone 16, or your Galaxy Android S24 or the S25 Ultra when it comes out and you have access to it. So this is supposed to solve your storage needs, basically. So a lot of you buy the cheaper version of the phone just so you can get into the phone, but I do the exact opposite. I buy the most expensive, largest possible phone I can get, just like the 14 Pro Max I'm holding, so that this way, in the future, if I'm not happy with what they release in the future, I can just keep on rocking with what I have rather than being forced into an upgrade cycle. Because I think I pretty much stopped doing the upgrade cycle back with the XS Max. They brought out the 11. I wasn't impressed. During COVID, they brought out the 12. I liked it. It had more storage. I ran out and got it, 512 gigabyte. But I had to wait till the 14 to be able to get 1 terabyte. So it took a full cycle. But now with the 14, they've gone through the 15 and the 16, and they won't give you more than 1 terabyte. Even if they had given me 1.5 terabytes, I would have said, okay, I'll buy the iPhone 16. They didn't even do that. So now I'm going to wait till the iPhone 17. If they give me 1.5 terabytes or 2, I believe they'll go straight to 2 terabytes, because even right now, 2 terabytes is about $100, give or take. And I know Apple can do it cheaper. But, when you buy the biggest and best, you don't have to worry about upgrading later on when something comes out that's an incremental upgrade. Now everything is USB-C. Just for reference, I'm plugging the Digiera into my computer's USB-C port that I had to create using a USB-A adapter. But hopefully it'll give us USB-C speeds or USB-C power. Now, me personally, I don't really care how fast it is. I only care that it can store data and that it can deliver it. So as you can see, Digiera lights up. This is the Digiera. Let's see if I can get that. I'm going to have to turn off my light because otherwise it's kind of hard to see it. But the Digiera word lights up. It's kind of bright there, but it's a little bit difficult to see. I can't even zoom into it. Okay, so it says we're at 0 watts. And the device has no name. They call it local disk E. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename it. Okay. I'm going to rename it Digiera. Oops. Yeah, I'm going to rename it Digiera. Rename Digiera. Digiera 1. I had to partition my drive specifically because Steam takes up a lot of space when when you have games and stuff downloaded. So Digiera 1 TB. 1 TB. Digiera 1 TB. I don't know if I could space that. Let's see. Oh, it won't let me space it. Can I put a hyphen? Can't put a hyphen. Can I put a period? Nope, can't put a period. All right, so I'll just leave it as Digiera 1 terabyte. Okay, so Digiera 1 terabyte. Okay, so now let's get started transferring something. This is a decent sample. So let me also say a little bit more because I like to fill my videos with propaganda. So anyway, this movie is Takeshi Kitano's 2023 film, Kubi. Now, Kubi means neck in Japanese. And this film I have is all in Japanese. There are no subtitles. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fast forward because I want to show you something. And this is part of the reason why that's Takeshi Kitano right there. Like, he made those movies Sonatine, Brother, Fireworks, Hanabi, Violent Cop. That was one of my favorites of his. And I'm just going to click through it because I don't want to get to the point where like they can get me for copyright infringement. But I want to point out something. Takeshi Kitano is a Japanese filmmaker. And what he did was he actually made this video about Nobunaga. And in Nobunaga's empire, Nobunaga had a black hand. I can't call him a samurai because all of a sudden now everybody's pissed off that Assassin's Creed is including a black samurai in the video game Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now here he is right there. Now this is a Japanese filmmaker. And he decided to make this video about Nobunaga. And apparently, according to the history, Nobunaga had a hand. I'm going to call him like a right hand. And I've heard conflicting, reports. But supposedly somebody was committing seppuku, and this guy rushed in and cut his head off because, that's how the Japanese do it. It's like you're supposed to wait until they start slicing, and then you take their head off. But Takeshi Kitano cast this guy in the movie, and from what I was watching, he did a pretty good job as far as the acting goes, and he speaks perfect Japanese. Like, I believe the actor himself was born there, I believe. I could be wrong. I had looked some of this up a while ago, but, a lot, I didn't really focus on it. But, everybody's pissed off at Assassin's Creed, and meanwhile, you got Japanese filmmakers literally starting to talk about Yasuke, the quote-unquote black samurai, And I'm glad that, he's finally, they're finally actually doing that. Because the reality is, it's like, we saw, what was it called? The Last Samurai and everything. And, this is just something new. So this is the 2023 film, Kubi. So if you're in Japan, you might want to get, like, I have the wide, you see, I got the widescreen Alienware 34-inch. It's a very good, this monitor, I've had this monitor for so long. This is a great monitor. But anyway, If you're in Japan, you might want to check it out. If you're a Takeshi Kitano fan, you might want to, get it. I'm going to transfer this to the Digiera, and then I'm going to try to run it back off of my television, because my television should be able to recognize it as a file folder. So I'm going to actually transfer it there, and I'm going to try to run it back and basically just show you that process. Okay, so there you go. That's the movie right there. It is 3 gigabytes, I believe, 3.9 gigabytes. It's almost 4 gigabytes. It's an MKV file. So I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to go to the Digiera, and let's paste it. Let's see how long that takes. But okay, first of all, this is USB-A going to USB-C. So it's going into the Digiera. There's no moving parts. The drive that it's coming from is actually a hard drive, and it's still able to transfer. Right now it's transferring at, what is that, 40.8 megabytes per second. So as you can see, this is 4 gigabytes. You can see we're already up to 2.6. So we're doing pretty good, right? So this is 4 gigabytes, and it's taking about a minute, maybe a little bit less. Some people, they get really, really worried about, oh yeah, how long does it take to move a file? But I'm telling you, the mere fact that this is a hard drive moving to an SSD, and it's taking like, it's 4 gigabytes, and it's not taking that long. It's only taking like a minute. And right now you say it's 45 seconds. So you figure it takes about a minute to move about 4 gigabytes, maybe even 5. But I'm using USB-A to USB-C, so this is not even true USB-C speeds. So as you can see, the voltmeter jumps to about 1 watt, and the Digiera flashes when it's transferring. It flashes to let you know. And there you are, 10 seconds left, and almost done, and done. There you go. So now the file is there. Okay, so it stopped flashing. The file is there. So I'm going to try to watch this on my television, see if that's possible. Just for comparison's sake, I'm not going to make this very long, but right now, the average price of a portable 1 terabyte SSD has dropped to about $89.99. Now, there are some other names like Crucial where it's $89.99, but they start to increase because perhaps they offer something different in terms of the design. Like, for instance, this SanDisk one has like a little carry loop. But the bottom line is, yeah, you basically are going to pay anywhere between $89.99 and $100 for one of these. So the Digiera, this one is 1 terabyte. What I like about this is that they offer up to 4 terabytes right there. So you can see that's the 1 terabyte model. But they offer up to 4 terabytes. Me personally, I need at least 4 terabytes. A 1 terabyte model like this is really good if you want to load movies onto it or load sensitive files, and you want to carry those sensitive files or whatever it is, and you want to be able to quickly access that stuff, like if you go traveling or something and you don't want that stuff on your laptop. There's 100 million reasons why I could think of why you would want to store that kind of information and that much information on one of these devices. So if you're interested in one of these type of devices, you can give it a look. I will put Digiera's information and the information specifically for this product in the URL section. So if you're interested, you can leave questions, comments, criticisms, and whatnot in the URL section.